Hello there, it's Karen here again. Today I'm using the June Hip Kit, which is predominantly made up of the Pinkfresh Studio Simple and Sweet collection with a few other bits thrown in, to scrapbook a couple of pictures of myself with my little granddaughter. She's beginning to be very responsive and she's adorable, and I thought it was time I did a page of me with her. And I've just picked out these frames that were in the kit. They're from the same collection, the Simple and Sweet collection. Just trying to find a couple of frames that would work with the photos, and I think these are the two that I've picked. So there's the one on the left is the pink one with the little hearts on, because hearts and love, that seems to work. And the pink goes quite well with the background paper, which I'm going to be using, which is that pink triangular pattern in the background there. And I'm using this other one, which is like a black and white paisley plaid, and because it's got the word together, and I thought that worked quite well with the photo as well. So I'm just finding a way for these, because the photos don't completely fit behind the frames, so I'm just tucking them in so that they're just standing out a little bit from the frame. And I'm just trimming down this piece of the another piece from the same collection, this polka dot paper in pretty pastel-y shades. And my first idea was to put the two photos on this background, and then the floral background behind that. But the floral paper wasn't quite big enough to do a proper layer, so I had to rethink it. I should do that in a moment. At the moment I'm just playing with the idea of doing just two layers, and now I decided that the floral paper is going to be in a circle. So I've got a plate from the kitchen, which I've just drawn round. I just thought it'd make a nice change to have a big circular layer at the background in the background. So I'm just trimming that down, and there it is. Because it's got all the colours from the kit, even though that one is I think it's a Bella Boulevard paper, but it's got a lot of the colours that are in the kit in that one page, and I just thought it made a nice pop of colour behind all the around and in front of and behind all the pastel colours that are in the Simple and Sweet collection. So I'm just sticking my photo into the frame, not doing too much, just to tuck it in, and so that it just sits there. So that's into that one, and tucking the other one into the other frame with a little bit of tape. There we are. And again, I'm just trying with this this polka dotty paper. Then I decided it was too pale, so I've got this peachy polka dot paper. I've decided that would look better as my first layer, because it's a bit more of a solid colour, so the frames will stand out a bit better against that more solid colour. So there I've backed the two frames with that colour. And then I'm trying to decide on another layer. First of all, I thought I might do this black and white check, which is on the back of the polka dot paper, I think. Probably find out in a moment when I turn it over. And then I thought, no, I don't really like too much black and white, especially as one of the frames is already black and white. I thought it was a bit too harsh. So I ended up turning the paper over and using the softer colour behind each of the frames, because I want this to be a soft and pretty page, as it's about me and my little one, and I didn't really want too much black to show. So I've decided that's the next colour that I'm going to back, and I'm just going to trim that down to fit. And that's those two layers ready to go. And I think the one on the right, the one that I'm sticking down now, I'm actually going to pop it up onto some foam in a moment. There we are. They're all stuck together, just slightly off centre, that piece, because they weren't quite big enough to go around the whole frame. So I've just off centred them. The one on the left off centred to the left, and the one on the right is off centred to the right. There we are. I'm just putting on the foam on the right hand one, so that just just pops it up a little bit, and then I can just cross them over slightly. And then I've taken this piece of paper, which is another one from the same collection, and a load of circles, and I just spend a bit of time cutting them all out. Obviously, I'm not going to make you watch me cutting them all out, but then I can use them as more embellishments, because I think the paper just calls out to be cut out. And there they all are on the left, all cut out, and then I can pick out some that will go as embellishments around the frames. So that one is more of an oval shape, and it says Simply and Sweet, which is the name of the collection, but actually it goes really well with the whole theme of the layout. And then there's a blue circle, and I've started off trying to put in a peachy circle, but I will change that in a moment. There we are, a little flower. I thought, so that's come from the ephemera pack. I've picked out that peachy flower, so I thought I don't want it to be overdone on the circular front. And then there's a little label at the top, again says Simple and Sweet, with some little it's just like a little row of flags, really, that I've just popped under that. So that little embellishment just on the top right corner, just to give a little bit of flash of colour up there. So I'm now going to stick down my photos. And that's just going to be crossing over a little bit, and then I shall stick down the whole circle. There we go. So it's quite a simple layout. I haven't done any mixed media on this one, because I thought I just wanted it to be about the photos and about some layers, and I just wanted to make it simple and sweet. Sorry about the pun, but I couldn't resist. So that's what I've stuck with. So I've just going to tuck a few pretty things around the photos, some of the circles and some of the embellishments from the pack. And this is a little label, and it says You Feel Like Sunshine. And that one I'm just popping up on a bit of foam, so that because it's going to be tucking over the photo, so I needed to just raise it up a bit so that it sits flat next to the photograph there on the left. There we are. And now I'm looking at some of the epoxy badges that came in the kit. They're also from the Simple and Sweet collection. Trying to find one that will coordinate. And then there's that little peachy coloured one with the heart. Just covers that little corner there, where the label joins up behind the photo. And I'm just going to put a few more flowers on the right from the ephemera pack. Almost everything I think from this on this layout has come from the kit, the June hip kit. I don't subscribe to hip kits anymore. I just buy the odd kit when I like the look of it. I've just moved that label over onto the right hand side. I think it looks better there, tucked in behind those hearts, and it just goes nice on that page with me cuddling little Alyssa. And she brings. She says You Feel Like Sunshine, and I think that covers it really. She makes me feel so happy. So as I was saying, I just buy the odd kit now and again. I thought this was such a pretty kit with all these soft, pretty colours. I really have enjoyed using it. So now just finding a few more bits just to tuck in. There's another circle that was from the ephemera kit that I've tucked in between the two photos on in the middle there. That just says Let Your Heart Sing, which seems appropriate as well. And there's another a circle from one of the ones I cut out, and that just said Stop and Smell the Flowers. And there are flowers all around the layout, so that seems to work. And I've got a whole load of little flowers that I'm just popping around the page, just a few in each embellishment cluster there. It's a couple at the top, a couple at the left, and some clustered around the bottom right, where there's a slightly more developed cluster, I suppose you could say. I'm just trying to get this circle to sit where I want it, so you can read what it says. And I'm just going to stick down all these little flowers. I've gotten a bit of a mess because the bottle leaked all over my fingers. So I've had to start a new bottle, which is, I hadn't realised how much I'd softened the bottle. When you're squeezing them, they eventually soften up, and it's quite stiff, the new bottle. So I was using my finger just to put some of the glue on the flowers, because I had glue everywhere. So I've tidied up, and then I looked through my stash, and I found these flowers from the Vicky Bouton stamp set that I did for an earlier layout. I stamped and cut them out with the dies, and these were the ones I didn't use. These were the pinker ones that I didn't use on the previous layout, so I thought I'd use them on this layout because I think they work quite well, just tucked in around the photos. So I was quite pleased with those. And there's one little blue one that I had left, and 3 pink ones. So I thought, yeah, they'll go. And I'd already painted them with some of the shimmers paints that we had in one of the colour kits. I think it's this June kit, actually. I think it's all come from the June kit. The dye, it was the colour kit from the June kit. So I'd used the dyes and the stamps and the paints to make these flowers, and so I'm getting good use out of them. And now I'm working on my title. This is the Pinkfresh Studio alphas. I think they're puffy alphas. I think you could call them puffy alphas. And you get quite a lot of letters on each sheet, which is really good. So I'm just making my title. I'm putting on some wax paper so I can see where I want to put it. And I'm going to call it Nanna's Joy, because she brings me so much joy, this little girl. She's such a smiley, happy little soul, and I love her to bits. So I thought this title, in fact, I thought the title before I decided which photos I was going to use, partly because I saw this word joy on this thicker sheet I had sitting in my stash. I saw the word joy and I thought, yes, Nanna's Joy, that works well. I'll have that as my title. So even though it is black, which I didn't really want too much black, but it's just the one very small word. And I thought, well, it's all right for that word to stand out because it is about my joy in my granddaughter. And I think that's what this layout is really all about. So I was quite happy for that one word to stand out. And I'm just sticking it as these are little black foam letters. So Nanna's Joy, as she is. And I just added a little heart from the sheet as well. The second heart didn't work. That was too much. So just one heart would do nicely. And I've just found this little, I've got a little, I suppose a little label there. That's from the ephemera pack. So I'm just popping the date on. I had a look at that one, which is blue edge, but I thought it was a bit too big. So I'm just putting this little one with the bit of gold foil on. That was really pretty, and I've just put the date on that, and that's just popped that down. It doesn't really need any journaling because it's pretty self-evident what this is all about. I'll put the date so we can work out how old she is there. I mean, she's about 6 weeks here, I suppose. And I've got a little wood veneer butterfly that I found in my stash. I thought I'll pop that up. I quite like that, just in the corner there. I tried it in a couple of places, but this is, I thought it looked its best, just in that top right corner. And here we are, it's all done, and I really enjoyed it. It was a nice easy one, and I hope you enjoyed it too. Thank you for joining me, and please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Goodbye.